Hello, EPIC33. How are you doing today? And welcome to 3D printing with Shoe. And before we get into everything, though, I thought I'd just have a little surprise for you. This is our new little kitten that we have. Her name is Cura, and she is the smallest cat ever in the world. Look how tiny she is. She's very like scrappy and a little bit gangly as well. But look how cute she is. Oh, she's so cute. Cutest little puss ever. That's one of the benefits, I think, about WANs, is that we can play games while we've got all of our like animals around us as well. Although if Epic is going to allow like cats and stuff to come to LAN, that would be amazing. She is on my mouse mat. But yeah, there you go. Little bit of a puss intro. Isn't she the cutest thing ever? Aww. She's so cute. Oh my day, she's jumping everywhere. Right. I'm going to pop her out of the room and then we can get on. We're doing all the 3D printing stuff. But I thought, look how cute she is. She was worthy. This is her first Epic, and she's so hyped about it. She's 8 weeks and 2 days old. Aw. Right, let me pop her out of the room, and then we can get on. There you go, Kiara. Oh, there we go. If you're like a cat parent, then you'll understand the you'll understand the love there. Oh my day, she's legit like the cutest little thing ever. Like I thought I was always a like a dog person, but apparently not. No, since having cats, I've definitely become more of a cat person. Although dogs still have a special place in my heart, and I would like a dog at some point in the future. But anyway, we are here to talk about 3D printing today, because 3D printing is a wonderful thing. There's a ton of creativity involved, a ton of engineering, although it doesn't necessarily need to be, I suppose, at the same time, depending on how kind of like involved or not you want to get with 3D printing. So we're going to be talking a little bit about where 3D printing came from, what you can do with 3D printing, how stuff works. If I spin my camera a little bit to the side there, you'll see I've got 3 printers down there. They're not on at the minute. They're not printing anything at the moment, but they will be. They're pretty much on all the time, because my full-time job now is actually designing and making parts specifically for airsoft. So when the pandemic hit, sadly, I was no longer required because of the kind of work that was going on. And I was like, you know what? I like 3D printing and designing and making things, so I'm gonna like do that. And already at that point, I was designing and making little bits and kind of like setting stuff in the background, like as a bit of a side hustle. And it just kind of like, I don't know, as terrible as it was, the pandemic gave me the opportunity to focus more on, my own little kind of projects. And because of that, I was actually able to build up a business. And now I'm working full time designing, making parts for airsoft. And I made my company. It's called Project Airsoft Limited. I'm going to show you a little bit quickly on the website here. And we do tons and tons of stuff. Like, it's all designed up. I've got a few guys, a few designers that I work with as well. And we'll like put our heads together, come up with ideas. They'll get the designs together, and we get them all on the website, and then we can make them. And the wonderful thing about 3D printing is if there's ever something that you want that doesn't exist, then you can go, this would be great to have. I'm now going to make it. And it's such a great, it almost feels like it's a superpower almost that you can do that. Like in the same way that like if there's any skateboarders out there, you'll be forever walking around looking at stair sets going, I want to skate that, or a rail or a ledge. And you'll be looking at the world very differently because you're like, I could skate everything if I wanted to. And the same with like parkour as well. If you do parkour, if you've done parkour in the past, you'll often look at like, walls next to each other and think, yeah, I could like jump from that to that. And, I never did any flips, but maybe do like a flippy thing, something like that. But as an example, like some of the parts that we've made, if I go down to here, the AAP01 is a type of airsoft gas pistol. Now, it is a toy. All of these things that we're showing on stream are toys, and they're not loaded at all, so we're not going to be doing any of those things like that. So this is the AAP01, and one of the things that I like to do with this is run it with a stock on the back, and use it more like a bit of a rifle. So I was kind of like, using it like this and taking shots off of people. And the thing that I found that was a bit frustrating was that I didn't have anything to hold on the front here. Like there was nothing to grab onto on the barrel. And using it like this just didn't feel comfortable. It felt a bit awkward and a bit weird. So what I decided to do was fix this problem And I came up with this item here, and I have it in real life as well. It's just in front of me. And essentially what this does is this just slides over the front of the outer barrel like that. Then where the screw for the front side goes, that actually goes in the top there through that hole to stabilize it. And now when you would use it, you've got a front grip built in, and you've also got these rails where you can mount accessories. So you could put cameras on there. If you wanted to mount another grip, you could, if you wanted to. If you wanted to mount like a laser, anything like that, a battery pack for your camera if you're filming, a PEC box, loads and loads of things. A sight, if you wanted to mount a sight that far front of the gun. And yeah, so that kind of thing. This doesn't exist already. There's nothing out there that's this part. This is the only place where this part exists in this form. Of course, you can get foregrips as well if you wanted to, but because there's no rail on this front bit, you can't mount it. But for the AAP, like I said there with the rail, one of the designers I work with actually came up and designed this as a front piece, which just replaces the outer barrel. You just slide it in and replace this bit. And then this does give you a rail on each of the 3 sides, and like on the bottom and the 2 sides there. So if you did want to use a different foregrip versus this one, then you could get that and put a proper foregrip on it. And this, again, this isn't something which is pre-existing out there in the world. This is something where, you know, my designers were like, I've got an idea for something. This doesn't exist. This is something that I think would be, you know, people would really like and want and improve airsoft. And, you know, we went ahead and made it, and now it's available for everyone out there. So, yeah, that's like kind of like, I guess, oh, wait, there's one more. Is there one more thing? Yeah, here we go. So this is one more item as well. This was probably one of the bigger brainchilds I had. There's a sniper rifle called the SRS, which is a bullpup sniper rifle. I'll grab it down here. So this is my SRS sniper rifle here. So it's quite a big boy. It is quite heavy too. Magazines go in the back here, so when you're using it, you know, you've got to kind of bring your hand back here to reload. But the bad thing about this rifle is the magazines only have a capacity of about 28 BBs, something like that. And for me, that's not enough. I want to have more BBs. You know, I want to have as many BBs as possible. Now, many of you are going to be familiar with M4s because they're in pretty much every single game everywhere. And in airsoft, they're just as you know, just as common, just as sought after. In fact, again, if I just ping my camera over here, you can see I've actually got 2 on my wall here because I run 2 M4s and they're very, very fun. But the magazines that M4s use, you can have up to 300-400 rounds just in a single magazine. So what I decided to do was, hey, I want to use an M4 magazine in my sniper rifle because I've already got a load of M4 magazines and they carry a ton more BBs. So this is why I made this little adapter here, which goes into my sniper rifle and allows me to now use M4 magazines. So now I pretty much don't have to reload through a game. I just take one magazine in the rifle with the adapter, and now I forever never have to reload. And it's just great because you don't have to worry about ammo at all. You don't have to worry about carrying lots of kit on you. Like when you're taking this adapter, if you want to run like grenades or pistols or things like that, then you do need to have extra kit. But you don't have to worry about ammo for your main rifle, and that's something which is absolutely, you know, amazing. And again, this is the only place where you can get this adapter. Like nobody else makes it, just because it is quite a niche item. But if you're in a situation where, you know, you own one of these rifles, you're going to understand the pain it is of carrying all these different magazines around. And because of the way the rifle is designed, because it is based off a real steel gun, you have to take the magazine out like this. And it's faffy. It's not the most comfortable way to have to reload. And if you're in the field, if you're like lying down on your belly like that and you need to reload, you can't really get your hand in because the floor's in the way. So you have to kind of like press that button, angle it out. Whereas using this adapter, you don't have to do that. And that was something which I actually designed quite early on in my 3D printing career. But anyway, website aside, how long ago did I start 3D printing now? I've only been 3D printing, I think since the start of 2020. I think it was just the start of 2020. I've been playing airsoft for slightly longer than that, but this is about 3D printing. We'll do another one on airsoft though if you enjoy it. And I think, yeah, the start of 2020, because my missus actually got me a 3D printer as a Christmas present. Now, I'd been very much interested in 3D printing for quite a while. I'd watched a lot of videos on YouTube, and every now and again she'd walk in, see me watching like a video on 3D printing, and she asked me if I ever plan to get a printer, and my genuine answer was just, I don't know how much I'll use it. And you know what? I didn't know how much I'd use it. And in the videos that you see online, it's always people kind of making, desk ornaments, trinkets. I mean, like little things like this, for example. I mean, this isn't 3D printed, but that's the kind of thing that you could do if you wanted to. And I was just a bit like, I don't really see any practical uses for this kind of stuff. I didn't really see any big future in it. It was just something which I was like, oh, that's cool that exists. And then I kind of moved on to I don't know, skate videos or games or something like that. Anyway, when she got me the printer, my life changed, and that's not like an overstatement or any kind of like anything less than the statement. Like, my life changed because now I am full-time self-employed with my own business because of her buying that printer for me. If I didn't have that, if she didn't buy me that printer, I'd still be doing, well, I'd be doing something else. That's for sure. I wouldn't be as deep into airsoft. I wouldn't be, doing any 3D printing at all. And now I've got 3 printers. I have owned another 2 in the past. I kind of like leapfrogged a few, and now I've got my little printing array set up because they pretty much need to be printing all the time in order for me to keep up with the orders that come in. So with regards to 3D printing, there is like a quite flavoursome history, and I actually do have a video to show you to go into the details a little bit of the history of 3D printing. So enjoy this little video, and I'll see you afterwards.
My name is Joseph the Sausage Third. I'm here to tell you about the invention of 3D printing. Yes, so 3D printing came around in the late 15th century, where greenskeepers of the Roman Empire would use horses to pull the little movie things around in order to make their prints. Yes, they'd make their prints, and then the materials they would use would be quite different. Of course, but back in those days they used trees and logs and things like that, and they would try and print using the sap from those trees, but sadly the prints wouldn't work that well at all. So later on, quite a few centuries later on, 3D printing would then start to come back around with the new technologies that were available in order to make it more of a popular, affordable, and fun pastime for people like me, and potentially you as well, hopefully you as well, because it's a very fun hobby to get involved into, and you can do a lot with it, and hopefully build it up as well, if you like to, into something rather more splendid. There's everything in the world which you can print with the 3D printer. You don't need to know how to design anything. You don't need to go to fancy schools in order to know what you want to do. Of course, there's lots of files online already you can use. You can just download them and go. But I'd recommend you to learn the craft and learn how to print. Of course, it's the right problem if the old printers go down. See, it's quite difficult to get them to work. And when you figure it out, though, tippity-boo, everything works fantastically well. So that's a brief, semi-accurate history of 3D printing. I hope that you have enjoyed that today, and I'll be passing it over back to the person who's leading this seminar for you. So yes, enjoy, and print away. Print-a-rooney. Hey, it's fun and boony. Oh, makeup, I think my moustache is having a bit of a problem. It seems to be getting a bit over floppy than it's usually meant to be. Please, could I get a re-moustachening, please? Thank you.
There we have it. There we go. So it may not have been the most accurate of history. As you can tell, it is quite an old video, so I guess they didn't have the best archives of research around for it. So let me just elaborate a little bit more on 3D printing for you. So pretty much, I guess, like for home 3D printing, or like the consumer kind of side of 3D printing, you've got 2 main different types of printer. You've got FDM, where there's a filament of plastic that feeds into a carriage, into a hot end, and then it squidges it all out onto the bed, which is some of the clips that you saw in there. And there's another type of printing, which is called resin printing, where there's like a little vat of resin, the build plate is lowered into the liquid, and there's like UV lights which then build it up layer by layer. Now, there's benefits and like downsides to both of those different types of printing. I only run FDM printers with a filament that runs down, as you would have seen in that video there. Reason being, I find it's just more like it's cleaner. Like with resin printers, there's a lot of like, you know, liquids around there to deal with. Once you finish the print, you've then got to deal with the excess resin. You've got to clean the part. You've got to cure it. There's a lot of extra steps. Whereas with filament printers, with FDM printers, you literally, as soon as the print is finished, you can remove it from the build plate. Like ideally, you'd leave it on there to cool down naturally, and then it will stop it from, you know, warping. But generally, I just kind of like crack it off straight away and then move on to the next thing, and don't really have any issues with that. You can nowadays, though, you can also 3D print in metal, although that is definitely much more of a like commercial use. But you know, people will be 3D printing parts for, I don't know, like engines, bikes, anything that you can think of. People will be making parts for that. Now, along with those being like different materials, like resin being one, the filament which I run, you know, that's plastic. I use PLA plus. PLA is the most common kind of material out there, but there's a lot of different like other variants of plastic, all with different properties. PETG, ABS, things like that. For example, you can also print in nylon, which is like, for example, like Strimmerline is often made out of nylon. You can actually print with that. If you went down to your store and you found a nylon strimmer roll, which was the right diameter for your printer, you could 3D print with that. Also, carbon fiber, you can get some filaments with fiber strands inside the filament itself to give your parts a lot of strength. You can pretty much print on those with all like kind of like home consumer printers. However, if you are using a material which has got like everything's inside the filament itself, then you may find that you'll go through your printer a bit faster. Like the nozzles can wear out unless you get like a hardened steel nozzle. You'll need to print in higher temperatures for those kind of materials as well. You may need to have your printer built inside like a chamber to make sure that the ambient temperature stays hot enough, because for some materials, like ABS is one where ambient temperature is very important, because if it's not hot enough, then the part will warp, it'll come off the print bed, and you're just going to not have a great time at all. Now, like with 3D printing, if you don't want to worry about, you know, designing parts, making anything, you don't have to. There's a whole load of parts already online that people would have made themselves, uploaded, then you can download, use them, print them yourself completely, you know, free of charge. There are also a load of parts on there which you can pay for if you want to. A lot of those are more in the kind of like sculpted side of things, where if somebody's like designer made a model, a lot of like you can get Dungeons and Dragons like D&D type models on there, where people will make gargoyles, gremlins, trolls, you know, wizards, priests, whatnot. You can kind of get them. They print really nicely on resin printers as well. However, FDM, they can 100% do that too. But what I actually use when I come to my designing things is it's a free online web-based tool called Tinkercad. Now, it is made by it's the company that make Fusion 360. I've not actually used Fusion 360 myself. I have tried it a few times, but it makes my brain hurt. It genuinely does really make my brain hurt. Like I watch like people, like I've watched quite a few tutorials on YouTube. I watch a lot of like Wintergarten and watch him like designing parts. I'm just like, I don't understand how you're making this software do all these things that you want to do. But luckily for the kind of stuff that I make, I don't actually require a lot of detail. I don't require things to, you know, be absolutely, you know, picturesque when I make them. So Tinkercad is something which I find is you know, very much, you know, okay, and does everything that I kind of need it to do. I do want to get to Fusion at some point, but Tinkercad does what I need it to do. So for example, this part here that I showed off earlier, this foregrip for the AAP01 little pistol, I fully designed this on Tinkercad. And you know, it works genuinely. It works really great. Another item I've got here, this is a display stand for a Mark 23 pistol which I've made. So I've got the little pistol here. I say little, it is quite big. It's a silenced one. I use this when I'm being a sneaky sniper, but this is a display stand for it. So the pistol just sits on there like that. And again, this was all fully designed and made within Tinkercad itself. I'll pop that down there. Actually, on the pistol as well, you can see I've got this rail system here. I made this because when I use my pistol, I do often want to put a camera on it as well. So I put this rail on there so I can mount a camera onto the rail. But you can also see it goes up here and connects to the outer barrel with the where the silencer goes. And the reason for that is this is a stabilized rail. So not only does it allow me the opportunity to mount accessories onto the pistol, but it also actually stabilizes the whole build, because the bottom rail on the Mark 23 is quite wobbly and moves around quite a lot. So this actually stabilizes the outer barrel to the rest of the riff and allows you to mount things to it as well. So kind of like a 2-for-1 there. Again, this is an item which didn't exist before I came up with the idea, designed it, made it, and now it's on the website. So that's another kind of example there. And the last example here I'm going to show you, which is one which I'm very proud of, is this little holster here. So it's a grenade holster, as you can see. This is the grenade itself. This is just a little airsoft grenade which uses shotgun primers to make a bang. So I can put that down there. It's got little clips on the back so you can clip it onto your rigging, no problem at all. But the cool thing about this, and where this is completely different to other grenade holsters, is if you look in the bottom bit there, there's actually a storage area for primers. So say I've thrown my grenade and I want to reload it, all I do is twist the bottom, and just like that, a primer has fallen out. And now I can put this into the grenade and use it again. And again, if I twist it here, you'll see it fall out. There's another one falls out. And there's another one that falls out there. So with this, I can actually carry, I believe, 11 primers along with my grenade, all in one handy little unit. So I don't have to worry about putting my primers in a pocket, worry about them falling out, losing them, anything like that. These just all sit together in one place and are, again, it's a unique thing. This doesn't exist anywhere apart from on the website. So yeah, very cool. This is one of the great things about 3D printing. Literally, you have an idea about anything and you can just go, I'm going to make that. And we're going to design something now. So I want to chat. I want chat to make some suggestions, put some ideas in on what you would like to see. Like maybe we could go, I don't know, we could design like a cup or something, or anything at all. Give me some ideas in chat, and we'll start to design it. And then you can literally see how easy it is to put a design together. Because that was one of the stopping points for me that I found to be a little bit unnerving, because I didn't know what it would take in order to 3D design something until I actually kind of like went, oh well, I've got the printer now. Let's have a little look and see what I can do. And actually found it was pretty easy to design stuff, to be honest. Mintopia. Thingiverse is great. Thingiverse is a really good resource. Like if you're looking for any parts online, or if you want to get like some models just to print, Thingiverse is a really great stop. I actually, during a phase where my missus was doing a lot of like painting, I went on and I managed to find a model of 2 cats like sleeping together on a pillow. So I printed that out in white. And then gave it to her, and then she painted it exactly like looking both of our cats, and it was absolutely beautiful. Very, very cool. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we could do. A desk thingy. So okay, so like a little desk holder. I mean, that would be quite quick for us to do, so I could definitely do that. We can make it a few. You could do a little steamboat with a chimney and call it Benchy. I mean, I could try and make a Benchy. Boots for your kitchen. I could do that. Pex, the Epic E with the circle around it. Okay, yeah, I could try and make the I could make the Epic logo. Yeah, let's try and make the Epic E logo. And then I'll definitely I'll print that. You know what, actually? One of the things that I do and that I sell on the website, actually, I can bring it back up here. One of the things I do is I do patches. So you see like this patch here, this is a flexible Velcro patch, which I designed, made and printed in a flexible material. So if I come up here, for example, I mean, this is a different one, but this is a circular patch here. But as you can see, it's flexible and it's got a Velcro sheet on the back there with yeah, so it's a little Velcro patch. So if you've got anything that's got Velcro on it, like if you've got like a shirt with like a sleeve with like Velcro on there, or maybe your hair, if it sticks on it like that, you can put the patch there. So what we can do is I will make the Epic E and I will design it so I can turn it into a patch. Now there is 2 ways I can do this. There's the very quick way and there's the longer way to do it. I'm going to do it the longer way round to do it. Just to show you how to 3D print or how to design in 3D. The other way you can do it is through Photoshop, where I will make the part I'll design it up, make it in Photoshop, and that's how I make all these patches, by the way. Like this one here, I designed this in Photoshop. I exported it as a JPEG in black and white. I then convert it to an SVG, which I can then import into Tinkercad and then make a 3D file for it. So yeah, let's make the EPIC logo. So first of all, I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to drop that down here onto my surface. So I've got a little build ruler there. I'm going to take a, let's go for a cylinder first of all. Now I want it to be as smooth as possible. So I change all the sides to 64. So it's going to be as smooth as it can be. I'm then going to make this zeroed on the ruler, just like so. And I'm going to make it 70 by 70, because that's how big I do my patches. This here is 7 centimeters by 7 centimeters, just like that. I mean, if EPIC.LAN's got an SVG I can import straight away, then that would be easier. But I'll do it this way, just so I can show you guys how easy it is to actually design stuff in a 3D space. Now, the patches that I do, I'll make them about 3 to 4 mil thick. So for this one, I'm just going to set that as a 2 mil height. So this circle here is now 7 centimeters like this. And then in thickness on the Z-axis, it's now 2 millimeters. Now to get the edger, actually, that's going to be, we want to change this here to be black as well, just so it fits on brand. Now I'm going to come down to this tube shape here. I'm going to make the sides again be 64. Now the radius of this, at the minute it's set to 10, so you can see it's 20 by 20. So I want to change the radius to 35 and then set it 0 to 0. And then I will make this come 2 millimeters high and 2 millimeters. So now we have got our black background and our edge ring. But I'm going to make the wall a little bit thicker. I want it to be a tiny bit bigger. So I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. I think that's about a good size there. So just like that, we have got our base of our patch, and we have got our outer ring of our patch there. Now, the EPIC logo, the EPIC E, it is at a 45-degree angle. It's going to be a bit tricky to make it at that 45 degree. So instead, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it on the flat plane. I'm going to make it horizontally, and then I'm just going to tilt the whole thing 45 once it's done. So I'm going to take this patch base. I'm going to move it over there for now. Let me just get a reference. I'm just going to get reference material up on the side here. There we go. Cool. Right. I've got my reference. So we want to have, I'm going to bring in a box here, just like so. And again, I'm going to center that onto the 0 plane there, just like so. I'm going to bring that out probably, let's say that is, well, we're going to do some estimation work here at the moment. Let's go 60 up like that. That looks about right. And then I'm going to make a copy, flip that down there just like so, and then 0 that, and then 0 that. So then this is kind of like a basis of our lettering. We're going to rotate this around. And this is what I mean, but it genuinely is like, I mean, if you're using Tinkercad, it is this easy to make stuff. So I want this to come down about here. That wants to go to, oh no, whoops. That wants to go about to there. And then this wants to change to 20, and that wants to change to 20 as well, just so we still got the same ratios. It has sunk underground a little bit, and we want to set that to 60, just like that. So that's looking pretty good. That is, oh, it's circular. I don't have to tilt it. That's a very good point. Right, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring this up here. I'm going to rotate that round again. I'm going to bring that to there, and then that is looking good. That is not too shabby. Yeah, that is not too shabby. Right, so with that being done, I now need to, I'm going to copy this like this. I'm going to flip this just because it's a tiny bit quicker for me to do that than it is to remake the whole thing. I'm going to set that to 0. I'm going to move this up a little bit to about there. Well, how much is this? 20, 60. So that's 80 in total. So if I bring that to 70, that's moved up 10. If I move that across 10, that looks about right. That doesn't look too bad. And we'll make this to be about 30 because that's moved in 10. We'll move that across there. That is now 50, 60 out. We'll flip that. and then we'll do that. And then that's pretty much the top bit, just like there, like that. By the way, I just saw that Nightbot just said, look at blue microphones. This is a blue microphone here. This is a Yeti. It's what it says there. Oh, it says Yeti Cast Bundle. This is just a blue Yeti, but it sounds great. I love it. It's a very, very good, very, very good microphone. Right. So now that's done there. I'm going to copy this. Actually, that is 20 and that's 70. So I guess this wants to go in the middle about there. So that's 1.5. And that's 1.5 there. And that may be, if I group that together, and then, oh no, I just made it disappear. And then make it orange. That may be sufficient. That looks all right. Let me get this in here now and have a little look. It may be a tiny bit too fat, but we can bring that in there like so. So this is 38 up. So this is a little trick that I have. This is 38 millimeters from the bottom to the top. And we know that our circle is 70 all the way. So if I bring up my calculator, I'll do 70 minus 38 divided by 2. And now that tells me that this needs to be 16 millimeters up in order for this to be centralized within the circle. And then I could do the same thing the other way. So 70 minus 33.78 divided by 2. So this wants to be 18.11 that way. And now that is completely centralized inside the circle. I do see you in there saying the middle prong is too long, so we can fix that. So what I do is undo this. Let's reduce this by about where should the prong be? The prong should be about level with that there. So if that is 36 in, that's perfect there. There we go. So now if I go like this and then deselect those two and remount that and then make that orange, the prong needs to be a little bit longer. Yeah, it needs to be a little bit longer now. So let's make this come out another 4 like that. Or maybe let's go to about there. Yeah, there we go. And then if we, again, deselect those, make it like that, do it like this, select that, and then put it at an angle. What do we think? I think that is pretty much spot on for the EPIC logo. Look at that. So, and also the very handy thing, because I like to have supplies ready for printing. Stop looking at my bum. I'm not a piece of meat. I have black and orange ready to go. So what I will do, I will export. Actually, I'll export these and I'll show you how to print them as well, how to make the files for them too, because that would be the next stage in this little endeavor. However, what I like to do, actually, this needs to come down because that's too fat, and then that's to go up. So this is the file here. Because I am using, I'll share the files. I'll share the files with EPIC. So if anybody wants to print their own, because you could export this all just like that and then print it, and then you'll have like a puck in one color. But because I want to do this in 2 different colors, what I need to do is export the colors in how I want to print them, if that makes sense. But in order to do that, I need to actually tweak this a little bit. I'm not going to do that now because it's a little bit on the boring side, I guess. Actually, we can kind of do that. Actually, yeah, let's go here. So, for example, I select this whole thing. It's 60 by 70 from the corner. Now, this workspace, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I design these files perfectly centered within that work area, because then when I go to print this, everything will layer up correctly when I drop these layers on top of each other. This is a little bit more of a like an advanced move, I guess you could say. If Michael was here from what's it? Oh, I can't remember. You know what I mean. He's doing an advanced gamer move. There we go. So something like that. If I move that in to go 70, maybe, no, that's going to be too much. Let's go 65, 65. Does this make sense what I'm doing now, or have I just completely lost you? 65, 65. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, pro gamer move. That's it. I'm going to use color to show what I mean. So this bottom bit here, I'm actually going to make it 1.6, and then this and this, I'm going to bring this to 1.6 high. I'm going to make a copy of that, actually, just like so, as you would have seen there. I don't know why that's gone like that. It's a bit odd that it's gone like that. We're going to make that into one part. So that's just all the same part there. That can just delete, actually, and then we'll just make another one. There we go. Cool. This will go to 1.6 high, and then we'll do this one as 0.3 high. And then this will actually all merge together. That's 1.9. And then this will come to 1.9. So when this prints, this is actually going to print the bottom bit in black and a tiny bit of the E logo and that in black too. Because the way this prints, because it's a bit of a, because it's a flexible material, there's often a bit of like overspray, you could say. So if I show you this patch here, you'll see there's like a bit of like stringing on there. And we want to try and mitigate that as much as possible. And by doing this little change, it actually helps to make it print a lot cleaner. But this is something which I've just like learned from doing bits and bobs around the place. Is that actually correct? 1.9, 1.6, that is 0.3. Let's do 1.5 actually, and then we'll do 0.5. Yeah, 1.5, 0.5, 1.5, and then that will just merge together. And then that's 2 mil high, and then this will come down to 2, and then we'll make this like 1.5, something like that. There we go, boom. So what we'll do now, I'm going to click the base, and I'm going to click export as an STL. And then I'm going to click the design. Oh, well, once it exports, it should pop up and say export in just a moment. There we go, just like that. And now I'm going to click the top design and this little cube here, because I mean I've not been able to work it out, so I don't know if it's me being stupid or not. But essentially, I've not been able to work out how to make my printer print with an item which is just like floating in the air. So what this little block is here is this means my printer's going to come along, print this little block upwards, and then it's then going to come and do this print here. So I'm going to export that as an STL. Now, this is going to sound a bit sus, I know, but it's because of like work files and things like that. My lovely producers, could you just come to me quickly, my camera, just so when I go to my downloads folder, there's nothing shown on stream that's not supposed to be there. I'm sure there isn't going to be anything strange. Thank you very much. There's not going to be anything strange in there. There we go. Oh, there isn't actually anything strange in there. Hooray. There we go. Cool. Now, let me maximize this bad boy and do this. Can I import two at the same time? Oh, no. Okay, it's doing something weird instead. There we go. Cool. All right, you can come back to me now. It's safe. Come back to my screen. There was nothing suspicious at all. There we go. So this is a program I use called Cura. And what Cura is, it's a slicer. And now what slicers do is you've got your 3D file, you've got your STL, which is the most commonly used one there, but now you need to generate the settings, the G code as it's called, which your printer understands as, oh, I need this G code to know how to print. So what we do is we take our file and we import it. Oh, wait, I forgot to do something. I can go to here. I forgot to do something as well. Let me just quickly... Oh, no. No, wait, I'm fine. 65, 65. Oh, wait, is that dead in the middle? I think that's dead in the middle. Oh, sick, it's dead in the middle. Hooray. So what I'm going to do here, this is now ready to print exactly how it is. Oh, but I don't think I do need to do this, actually. Let me just quickly. Aha. Is that a faff? No, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Oh, no, wait, it is. This needs to rotate round like that, because otherwise it won't print. It won't line up on top properly. There we go. Cool. So we have got our file here. What I'm going to do now, I actually have a load of presets for the different things that I print. So I'm going to come into my presets and I've got TPU here. Now, all these other ones, these are for different types of filament. There's different speeds, different layer heights, things like that. This one here as well, this is a variable layer height. So say, for example, I actually make suppressors. This is one of the parts that we make. It's a little amplifier, actually. So this will make your airsoft gun louder. Inside here, there are threads. So you can screw it onto a pistol. So, for example, if I show you this one here, that's what this has at the end. This is actually threaded onto the end of the pistol. So I 3D printed the threads both on this and on this. Both of these were designed by Reese Davey, by the way. So big shout out to Reese for the fantastic work. I'm going to be here forever trying to screw this thing back on because I'm cat-handed. There we go. There we go. Right. So that's going back on there. But this is the reason why variable layer height is good, because it will print the thinner layers during the threads up to here. And then when it doesn't need that level of detail for the rest of it, it will then print in the fatter layers. And the benefit of that is it saves you print time, because print time, if you printed the whole thing in the thin layers, it would take bloody ages. So having a variable layer height is good. Anyway, if I discard that, I picked design just because I actually print everything using TPU design now, because the settings for this is actually a bit quicker, and it does well. So now I've got those settings in there. You can see if I go into like material, you've got the temperatures. So I'm going to be printing this at 235 degrees Celsius. The build plate is going to be at 50 degrees Celsius. The infill of this, so how much material which is going to be inside the part, is 100%. If you had like a box, for example, like a dice or a cube, you could change that infill percentage to like 10%, 20%, 30%, anything that you want. The more percentage, the more material you use, the heavier it's going to be, but also arguably the stronger it's going to be as well. So that's a thing which you can dial in depending on what part that you use. Generally, I find 20% is great. Like this part here, I do this at 20%. I do everything at 20%, apart from the really small things like this little thing here, this little screw nub in here. This is 100% because it is quite small. So what I do now, I click slice, and this will generate the file. It tells me it's going to be a 42-minute print. And if I click preview, we can actually see each of the individual layers that the printer will print. So I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers in total, and it's going to be doing 2 of those layers on my E shape at the top, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want to happen with that E shape, because then it lifts it up enough that there's going to be a nice clean print. So I'm going to save this to file. That's fine. Yep, that's cool. I'm going to save this to file, and I'm going to call it EPIC base, just like that. Saved. That's saved off there. Now I'm going to come into here. I'm going to delete. Actually, no, I'll keep that just for the time being. I'm going to bring in EPIC1, which is the thing here, because I just want to make sure that I have it at the correct orientation, and that matches up there perfectly. I'm going to kill that, take this, and then center the model. Yes. Oh wait, I've messed that up. Actually, is that an issue? Oh wait, I may have messed this up. Let me center that. Center selected model. Oh no, wait, they're perfect. Yeah, they are absolutely perfect. If I center that, is that right? Center selected model. Yeah, cool. All right, perfect. Right, I'm gonna kill that then. Wait, is that the right way round? I don't think that's the. I think it needs to be like that, doesn't it? Oh no, I've forgotten. Let me come here quickly. I'm just gonna bring this over here just so I can make sure for sure. EPIC code. I'm just going to import my G code file. Yes. So the flat bit is at the bottom here, just like so. Perfect. And then this comes in here. Then the flat bit is going to be at the bottom, just like so. So this is the way. This is what I need it for. This is the way I need to do it. And then I'm going to slice this. That makes the file 17 minutes. It's a lot less because there's a lot less stuff that we're printing. Now I can save to file. And I'm going to call that EPIC Des for EPIC Design. Cool. And I'm gonna hit save. That's saved. And now with those files saved just like that, I would then take those files across to my printer. I would put them on a tiny little micro SD memory card, press select, and then it's all good to go. So I will actually print this off. But sadly, because it's going to take about an hour and a bit to fully print, I don't have enough time in my segment to print that off and show you. But I will print that off, and I will show that to you. Mintopia, no Octoprint. I do run Octoprint, yes, but I only run it on one of my printers. I've got Octoprint is running on the middle printer. And for many of you out there, for what Octoprint is essentially a web-based service which uses a Raspberry Pi for you to remotely control your printers. I have looked into Octoprint for multiple machines, but it doesn't seem to be a good solution for that. It looks quite faffy. But I have seen other people have multiple printers connected, like 8 printers, all running off a service. So if you know what that is, please do let me know, because I would love to do that. Multiple Pis. I just can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. The thing is with my setup, that's quite handy as well. I actually have a memory card reader here. So essentially all I do is just go, if I'm going to be printing on this printer, so I just go memory card out like that, and then straight into there, just like so. And that's how I do that there. And then I can just copy the files, put it onto my printer, and then boom, we're all good to go. Yeah, very cool stuff. Now there is one of the things I did mention it earlier, like practical printing. And practical printing is something which, you know, that was one of the key factors which I always felt like, you know, I don't really feel like I need to buy a 3D printer, because I didn't really feel like there was a lot of uses I could get out of I could get out of printing. However, there have been a few times where I've managed to fix something just purely by designing something in 3D printing. So for example, we had one of our little hob switches off our cooker that broke. The plastic inside that broke. It had corroded, it had broken off, and we literally couldn't use it anymore. So what I was like, wait a minute, I could probably fix this with 3D printing. So I took the little knob, I got my pliers, broke out all the plastic that was inside, measured it up, and then designed and printed an insert that goes into there with like a little bit that fixes, like that connects to the hob as well. And then boom, like I've fixed that switch. I don't have to go out and buy anything. The amount of plastic that I used to print it was probably about 4p, if that, maybe 3p's worth of plastic. And the time it took to actually design it, it was probably all of, like, you know, all of my man hours in terms of designing, managing the printers, all of that stuff was probably about 15 minutes in total. And that's, you know, less time and a huge amount less money than it is to, you know, drive to B&Q, find a knob or a pack of them, buy them, get back, and then put them all on there. Faster than that. And like the print time for it was probably about, you know, 25 minutes, something like that. And then boom, you're all set to go. So there is a lot of practical printing which you're able to do. And it was kind of like, I guess it was the perfect storm of me playing airsoft, because airsoft is just such a, it's still quite in its early days, I would say. So there's a lot of opportunity within airsoft to come up with new ideas, design them, make them, and have them be, you know, have them be benefiting across the scene. One of the ones which I'm most proud of for airsoft, if I come back to my Mark 23 pistol here, the way airsoft guns work, all of them, you've got your metal barrel, you've got your BB, but at the front of the barrel, there's a little bit of rubber called the hop rubber. And now you can adjust the pressure of the hop rubber on the BB, and that will apply backspin, or a different amount of backspin on your BB to adjust how far it goes and how accurate it is. Now on this pistol here, in order to adjust the hop, there's a little Allen key, a little grub screw on the top there, and if you screw it in, it makes more pressure, gives you more backspin, and if you undo it, less pressure, less backspin. And it's really, really good. But often you'll be out in the field, and maybe there's somebody closer that you want to shoot, that your hop, because you put backspin on it, it goes up so you can't hit them. Or maybe you've zeroed your gun to be closer, and you can't hit somebody further away. So you want to adjust this. And carrying an Allen key out with you in the field is a right pain in the butt. Like I've lost so many Allen keys out in the field I can't even like start to think about how many. So what I was like, this is a problem, and there must be a better way. Now, luckily for me, the Mark 23 actually comes stock with a little threaded hole here. So I was like, why don't I make an Allen key which can go into that hole? And that's what I did. So you'll see here, I just unscrew this, and now I've got a little Allen key in this little screw here. I can pop that in my grub screw at the top, and now I can twist it, and I can adjust my hop up of my pistol as I want to. And I can literally just like take a shot, make a twist, take a shot, make a twist, take a shot, and if that's perfect, take it off, find it in the hole, put it back in there, and then I'm good to go. And it's out of the way. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't bother you, but you've always got an Allen key with you. And this didn't exist. This, like, it wasn't something in airsoft at all. But now this is something which I can't live without. Like, it's just so simple and so useful that I was amazed that it hadn't been thought of before. But that's the kind of thing which you can bring to pretty much anything in the world, really. Anything that you've got an interest in, you can make something that will make it better. You know, like this is another one of mine which I've been super chuffed about. This is one of my earliest ones. I think this is my very first unique idea that I actually designed and printed. And what this does is, what shall I use this on? There you go, I'll grab this one. So on this little M4 here, you can see that it's got little rails on the front. So what you would do, ignore this foregrip actually, ignore this foregrip. What you would do is, this slides on to the rail, just like so. There's screws that go in the back to attach it, just like that. And then what you would do, again, probably not with this, not with this rifle, but what you would do is you would take your Glock. Again, these are all airsoft toys. These are all toys. You would take your Glock, and that then goes in there. Oh, again, if that was screwed in, it wouldn't just slide off like that. You take your Glock and you put it in there, and now you have got your Glock holstered to your rifle. And if you didn't have a foregrip, you could actually use the Glock grip as your foregrip, like that. Isn't that clever? It's so good. And you can, you know, even if you've got it on the right side and you're using your vert grip like this, you've still got your pistol holstered. Actually, I might run this because it doesn't get in the way at all. If you want to change a mag out, you change a mag out. And then as soon as you want to use your Glock, you literally just go, boom, pull it out, and then you're ready to go. I'm going to run this, actually. I'm going to mount that, and I'm going to run it next weekend. Because isn't that good? Seriously, this doesn't exist anywhere. This is the only place you can get that. And look, it keeps it out of the way. It's comfortable to use. And boom, you need a pistol. You just draw it, and then you're good to go. This is the great thing about 3D printing, man. There's so much creativity, and you know, there's so much genuine possibility for what you can design and make, and what you can actually bring to the world. Like, again, the whole point of Project Airsoft, the whole reason why the company exists, is to make airsoft easier, make it more enjoyable, make it so you don't have to worry about your kit as much as you would have to do. Because when you're out in the field, I have died countless times to, you know, trying to like maybe get this grenade and find a pocket to put it in, or, you know, taking off the cap to reload the primer, or, you know, I've been faffing about taking my camera off of my rifle to put it onto my, you know, tons of things, like trying to change the hop up with an Allen key, and then dropping the Allen key on the floor, and then looking around in the leaves to find this Allen key, and then I get shot, or a grenade comes in that I didn't see. Things like that. There's so many different things which you have to worry about when you're playing airsoft. So having kit, which means that you don't have to worry about that anymore, is an absolute godsend. It really, really is. And that's why I design things, you know, even simple things like this. You know, this doesn't look like much, but in the way you use this, you'd have a pouch where you'd have a magazine in, and instead of having like little elastic straps that go over the top, which you've got to like find with your fingers, push to the side to then get your mag out, this replaces that. You just have that in there, you put your magazine in the top, and that's it. This clamps your magazine in place and holds it there so it can't fall out or get out of the way. And absolute serious, it's so much better than just using your stuff as you would use it. And yeah, it's when you come up with something where it helps people's lives just kind of be a little bit better, or helps them to enjoy a sport which they love that little bit more. It's genuinely, you know, a really rewarding thing. Like, I'll go to airsoft sites and I'll see people using like the grenade holster, or they'll have like the Glock mount on there, or they'll just have like little screw on the Mark 23. For them, it's just a thing that they've got on their pistol that makes their airsoft lives a little bit easier. But for me, I see that and I'm like, that's awesome, because I thought of that, I've made that, and I've had that impact on them. And they may not, they probably don't know it, like, you know, that it was me, but it's a really fulfilling feeling to have. So yeah, it's very cool. I'm certain no matter what you're interested in, you will be able to make things through 3D printing to make it better. Whether you're into music, you could make stands for your guitars, you can make a holder for your pick. If you play drums, you can make drumstick holders, or maybe like create a new type of, you know, stick to use your drums, or, you know, you can make a custom cymbal stand, or, you know, there's so many different things in everything. You know, in gaming, you could make a mouse bungee, you could make a custom holder for your Stream Deck. You know, we all lose the things, the clippy bits on our keyboard. You could design and make replacement ones of those, and give your keyboard that new life instead of having it rest on some books or anything like that. You know, even with my printers, I've designed and made upgrade parts for them. I've got two Ender 3 Pros and two Ender 5 Pros and an Ender 3 Pro at the end there. And on all of them, I've designed and made upgrade parts for them, or I've just downloaded upgrade parts online, printed them off, fitted them, and then my machines run better. So it really is really, and you could even buy a printer and use it to print another printer. There are files online for you where you can literally just download and print a printer. Of course, you have to buy the motors and the wiring and like the electronics and things like that. But the whole base of it, you could print that. Hell, there's files on there for keyboards. You can just print the keyboard and again, buy the electronics, put it in there, and then boom, like keycaps. I could make a custom keycap if I wanted to. I could make an EPIC.LAN keycap. Ooh, if you want that to happen, let me know, and I'll design and make an EPIC.LAN keycap, because that would be pretty darn sick. I think I'm gonna do that actually. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna design and make some EPIC.LAN keycaps. I've already got the logo now, so that's very handy. But yeah, I'm gonna make some keycaps. Okay, so if you want some, make sure that you let us know in chat. Let us know on the Discord. I'll do some, and then we can do a giveaway, I guess, of some kind of thing. But yeah, that would be awesome. But here we go. There we are. That's pretty much the end of my section now. Any questions? Put them in chat very quickly, and then I'll do my best to answer them within the time that we have. But genuinely, 3D printing is fantastic, and it marries itself very well with airsoft, which is something which I'm very thankful for. But I would be incredibly surprised if there is nothing that you can 3D print which is either pre-existing or something that you can design to aid or make one of your hobbies or interests or your day-to-day life that little bit better. And remember, the old adage, this is what I always believe, is that there's always more ideas that haven't been done than ideas that have been done. No matter how many things there are in the world, there is always going to be more that haven't been done. So, yeah, remember that. Remember that. Best single add-on mod I'd recommend for the Ender 3. I would say if you haven't got the silent board would be best. Like, my Ender 5s are so quiet. My Ender 3 compared is very, very noisy. So I would say upgrade the main board with the silent board, and that will be the best thing to do. You can actually buy it. I think it's the Ender 3. Or maybe I've got the Plus and not the Pro. I think one of them does have the silent board on. But if you buy the one down from it, buy the board and swap them out yourself, which is, you know, super easy to do. It's actually a lot quieter. Hey, you did that last week. Now I need the silent fans. Sick. There you go. See, you already know. Mintopia. You're good. You're very, very good. Sick one. Right. That is my time up for today. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that it's been informative for you. And if you're on the fence about getting into 3D printing, just do it. 100% go and do it. Go onto Amazon, buy yourself an Ender 3 Pro for like 200 quid, 220 quid, I think they are. They are very, very, very good. And the Ender 5s, they're a little bit more, they're about £130 more expensive. I've converted all 3 to direct drive as well, so I can use flexible filaments on them, and they just like make it a bit more consistent, I find. But get a 3D printer, give it a go. You'll absolutely love it. Fantastic for cosplaying as well. If you want to 3D print handles for things, or like Pip-Boy or anything like that, you can find the files and you can do it. So yeah, huge shout out to Intel for sponsoring the event, of course, as well. Logitech G2. I've got my blue microphone here all set up, ready to go, doing the business. I've had this mic for years now, absolute years, and it's absolutely fantastic. Of course, as well, Noble Chairs being fantastic as always, and overclockers, if I haven't mentioned them already. I've got my overclockers mouse mat here, as big as ever, and they are discounted down 46% off. So head to the website and enjoy that deal while you can. But until next time, my name is Shoe. This has been 3D printing. We are at EPIC33, and I will see you very soon. Stay fresh, everyone.